I'm not only sinning Comcast here, I'm also sinning the amount of time, the meetings, and negotiations it took to agree on the size of the font of a Comcast company relative to the main Universal logo. That must have taken forever to iron out. And now I have in my head the possibility of a Minions Secret Life of Pets crossover, and that's more terrifying than the f***ing Exorcist. It's at this point that Jay-Z's Empire State of Mind is playing over the pan of the city, and it's a great opportunity for me to tell this song to right the hell off. First off, Alicia Keys does pretty much all the heavy lifting on the track, so it should be her song with him featuring. But Jay does this all the time, like when Justin Timberlake carried almost all of that Holy Grail song, and Kanye and Rihanna basically owned Run This Town, and damn it, this is why Barrett should stick to writing music videos since.
Ah, kids. Everybody loves them, right?
The secret crutch of narration. Also, I'm not going to reward this movie with any other sin removals, but I do want to applaud the extremely smart decision to get Patton Oswalt to play Max. Not only is he a badass voice actor, it's much better than the alternative from the first movie. Okay, enough of this SJW bullshit. I've got a movie to sin.
Having a kid looks like fun!
Script contains dialogue from the auditions for MTV's upcoming season of Teen Mom.
I'm telling you, once the humans bring a kid home, your life ain't the same.
So we're going from a movie where Max's life was interrupted because Katie decided to bring home a new dog, to a sequel where, at least initially, Max's life is interrupted because Katie decides to have a child? Yeah, that seems totally worthwhile and not the same kind of shenanigans at all.
I thought I never had to worry about any of that, but then one day...
Hey.
And that, kids, is how you get pregnant. Man, happened quick with this baby. It's like the Boss Baby on steroids. Like, they literally injected the kid with steroids while he was in the womb so he could conveniently pop out within the first 2.5 minutes of this movie. Discount Jack. Now, if he gets into an epic fight with a raccoon in the park later in the movie, I'll be forced to reconsider this condescending moniker. Okay, look, I know sometimes it's hard to keep up with your toddler, but it seems like Liam's got the entire run of this apartment without any interference from Katie, even when he's obviously f***ing with the dog.
And from then on, everything was different.
Jeez, this is like the third or fourth, but then everything changed moment within the first 4 minutes of this movie. I know life comes at you fast and all that bullshit, but pace yourself.
Try to be a good influence.
Seriously, has Katie been written out of this movie? Is she now a disembodied voice like in a Peanuts cartoon?
Everything's cool. We don't want any trouble.
God damn it! Not only does Katie take her son, who can barely walk, mind you, out on a crowded New York City street and lets him run around free, as soon as he does run off, she stops in the middle of the sidewalk instead of pursuing him. I'm sick of pointing out each of these instances, so I'm gonna add 50 extra sins to cover the parenting in this movie. Why'd they wait until this point to do the title screen for the movie? Like, sure, it's their choice, I guess, but like many things in this movie outside the animation itself, it just seems like they made the decision at the last minute. Cats.
Morning, Snowball. Who's the best bunny in the whole wide world?
Bugs? Easter? Cadbury? Bad? That creepy one from Donnie Darko? Eminem and 8 Mile? I'm just saying you can praise your pet without going this far over the top. Man, this little girl is obsessed with superheroes. Wouldn't it be hilarious if she turned out to be Martin Scorsese's granddaughter?
You do know that your owner is just playing superhero, right?
To be fair, Max, a dog, lives in a world where he talks to a rabbit every day, so the superhero thing should actually make more sense to him.
Package has left the building. Does anyone have eyes on him?
I don't see him. Over.
This syndicate of pet protection relies on all the kids having the exact same type of walkie-talkie, and that they'd be on the same frequency, but these kids are all different ages, so why would they be playing with the same toys? Hell, why would a toddler even have a walkie-talkie in the first goddamn place? And if they're baby monitors, that makes even less sense! If you showed me this sequence out of context, I honestly couldn't tell you if it were from Rio, The Nut Job, Over the Hedge, Sing, Zootopia, or a slop movie. Great job homogenizing all the animated animal content, guys.
You've been so stressed lately, but this vet is gonna help you.
If this vet specifically treats stress, I'm assuming they're giving out Valium or hand jobs like candy. Maybe both. The girl from Ipanema plays over the speakers in a waiting area in a movie cliche. Nothing like little animated jabs at anxiety and other mental issues. They should have just titled this movie Eating Apples, because it's a f***ing asshole. I see that Katie's terrible parenting skills also apply to the dogs now, considering Max is making a racket and she should easily notice his plight with the ball.
Gidget!
Jesus, even if this owner's obsessed with Gidget, this color scheme is severe. It's like the homeowner got design advice from the Oompa Loompas that built the Wonka Vision Studio.
I was wondering, could you watch my Busy Bee while I'm gone?
Considering how important this toy is to Max, why wouldn't they just take it with them on the trip? Ah, these two dogs look so happy together. Oddly enough, her favorite position is missionary. See, this never would have happened if anyone ever shut their goddamn windows in this franchise. It's like an animated kids movie has to have this shot now, right? Like, does the MPAA require it for a PG rating? If they don't do it, do they slap it with an NC-17? Fine, fine, elderly woman lives alone with a lot of cats. Way to stay current with the jokes, movie. But the real sin is that there's no way this apartment would be anywhere near this clean with this large of a feline family residing in it.
You know, I'm be the first bunny with washboard glutes. I'm not even sure what glutes are.
Sure feels like the screenwriter just wrote a bunch of random words down on a page and handed it to Kevin Hart and bet him a few rounds of drinks that he couldn't make it funny, and that dude must have gotten wasted later that night.
It's snow time, baby.
Snow time! This babbling bunny can't come up with a pithier pun to indicate his crime fighting? Why not ready to get snowballed? Prepare to get plowed! Winter is coming! Not content to let any cliche go untouched, movie throws in a Wilhelm scream, and I think I'm in more pain than that poor bastard that just got thrown through a building.
Who is that?
That is a rabbit, and that is definitely a very different species that a dog should not be sexually attracted to, at least not in a kid's movie.
And we were going through our owner's stuff. Humans always blame the airline.
Holy more like Secret Life of Jerks, am I right?
I don't speak wild animal.
Why the hell not? I guess we're supposed to believe domesticated pets have their own language, but it's communicated clearly between species, like dogs, cats, guinea pigs, and others. But this tiger can't even approximate any communication besides miming? Hell, he even understands them, which is absurd.
After the plane landed, I saw Who again.
And how the did she know the tiger's name was Who if he can't communicate? Did she read his name card on the cage? Can she read?
Woof, woof.
What?
Oh, I'm a dog. I'm wagging my tail like an idiot.
Sarcasm.
Chloe, I need your help.
So are just none of the adults ever home in these movies unless they're conveniently needed? Just feels like a lot more time has passed than your average workday, and Chloe and Gidget appear to have been by themselves this whole time. Close Encounters of the Secret Life of Pets. The Secret Life of the Third Kind? Secret Encounters of Pets? Last one sounds like a terrible Pornhub series.
Yes, I can.
At what point in the animal kingdom do we stop caring about whether they live or die in this franchise? Aren't bugs sentient too? Should we pour one out for this unfortunate asshole?
What's that kid doing in the cage? Something wrong with him? You got the fever?
Nah, Katie and Chuck just have a zero tolerance policy, at least until the PR becomes a nightmare.
All right, we're here.
So many problems with this bullshit journey. How are Snowball's legs and arms long enough to control a big wheel, let alone over a long distance? Speaking of which, they drove from Midtown Manhattan to wherever this circus is, which took how long? And speaking of that, no one saw a rabbit and a shih tzu on a children's toy riding down the street. And speaking of that, how in the everlasting did they know where to go to find the circus? Daisy last saw the tiger at the airport. For this scene alone, I'm adding another 25 cents.
Stealth mode.
I get that Snowball ended up being the minions of the first film, and I'm definitely not asking for a Snowball standalone film, but that would have made a ton more sense than what we get here, which feels a lot more like 3 episodes of a Secret Life of Pets cartoon stitched together for a feature-length running time than an actual movie. Nothing says fun like dark clouds and thunder, along with a picture of a guy that looks like Dr. Claw without a mask on, and maybe that's the point, but I'm sure I missed a sin earlier, so sin away.
There's a candy wrapper on the ground.
At this point, whoever can actually put the considerable comedic talents of Kevin Hart to good use in a movie deserves a Pulitzer, if not a Nobel Prize.
You're wasting Sergei's time.
Nick Kroll does a weird accent as a villain in a movie cliche. This cliche used to be owned by Gary Oldman, by the way.
Do not let Tiger out of your sight.
Unless Who has some powers we haven't been made aware of, I'm pretty sure the cage is keeping him in sight. Does Sergei know that a rabbit and a shih tzu might be trying to bust Who out? Because that's the only way having this group of circus wolves keeping watch makes any sense. Also, why would Sergei even say this? Not only is the tiger in a goddamn cage, does he expect the dogs to understand this type of order? Not something easier like stay? Oh my god, it's raining. What are all those New Yorkers gonna do about having their windows wide the open? Wow, the circus is shut down, but Sergei left all the electronics on the game huts on? It's gotta cost him a fortune in electricity every month.
Wait.
The menacious Mr. Fox.
Yeah, you're cured. Hallelujah.
This is such a case of going over the top to make a character match the voice. This dog is so Harrison Ford that it should be wearing a earring.
Okay, tail, ears.
Holy this dress Gidget up like a cat nonsense is still going on? What have they been doing all day? Hell, the entire family on the farm is already asleep.
You gotta. It's a fact of life.
Absolutely not.
Isn't Gidget a super spoiled dog that would jump at the chance to in private rather than out on the street? I'm not saying a litter box is a wonderland, but I don't know why the hell she wouldn't be jumping in there at first sight.
Oh, Mel.
We got eating jokes, y'all.
What you talking about?
How is there no one on the street right now? I don't care what time of night it is. There is no way in a downtown area this large a tiger could just wander the streets without anyone noticing.
Puppy school is in session.
Puppy school?
I'm with you, Snowball. I can believe, I guess, that these owners let the older dogs and cats wander around. But no one leaves a puppy out loose during the day unless they want everything in their apartment to be destroyed.
I promise
I promise.
to listen to Pops.
You know how the Toy Story sequels seem superfluous, but they at least have a narrative that's in service to the characters you know and love from the previous movies? Yeah, this franchise takes that delightful sentiment and wipes their asses with it.
Don't get attached. That thing is out.
Just to recap, a bunny and a Shih Tzu rescued a wild tiger from a circus, brought it back to the city, where it was tearing all the up, then to Garth's apartment, where he continued to tear all the up, but now he's cute and tame and playing with what have to be delicious puppies. Do I have that stupid?
Mr. Pops, please can a tiger stay with us?
But all these puppies aren't staying here, right? I mean, they have their own homes, right? This is starting to sound more and more like Pops is using the puppy school story as a cover for what is clearly a kidnapping ring, which for the record would be a much more interesting storyline than any of the three we currently have.
What's this? This from Thief of Tiger.
Man, Sherlock's never been the same since Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman left to go play with Marvel. In a book called Little Red Riding Hood and Other Fairy Tales, why would the Little Red Riding Hood story be this far into it? Talk about burying the lead.
The little girl went home, no one got eaten. The end.
No. That's not how the story goes.
Who the cares, since there's no way this kid understands the dogs? Also, despite taking him to the vet to get the cone, Katie never mentions its sudden absence. I know old people are old and but I don't think this lady has moved from this spot in over 24 hours. Are we sure she's still alive?
Bissy Bee.
I'm honestly having a hard time locating the A story of this movie. Is it this? Max's anxiety over Liam? The night school reunion with the tiger? Harrison Ford grumbling his way to a fat paycheck? Hell, the most interesting storyline is the veterinarian that only does behavioral health. Set the whole movie there!
What's going on?
Don't worry, I'm fine.
You let all the sheep out.
Answering your own question.
Where's Cotton?
Oh, he went into the woods.
You, come with me.
Why would Rooster bring a known up on his mission to find the little lamb? Also, are sheep parents just as assholey as the human parents in this movie? Like, where's Cotton's mom? And why isn't she the least bit concerned that her ewe has wandered yonder?
Cotton! What are you doing down there?
There's apples in this tree.
Cotton is a tiny sheep, and Rooster, a much larger and faster animal, has been right on his heels for this entire chase. How the did Cotton get all the way out here on this danger tree in a moment's notice? Oh yeah, they went to that famous farm in New York that's situated by the border of the Grand Canyon.
We're alive.
Yeah, we all know.
Cotton.
You know, it was pretty intense. Tell him, Rooster.
You know, some stuff happened. Now it's over.
Perfect summary for this movie. Also, is anyone going to fix the fence that was the entire reason for the last 10 minutes of the movie happening? Are the sheep going to just stay in there even though they immediately wandered out as soon as it broke? On this beautiful spring day in Central Park, located in one of the most populous cities in the world, there are like 6 people out and about.
So long, suckers.
Okay, so there's some humans around, but not one of them cares about wolves being around them. And this guy doesn't even notice Daisy is now on his scooter. I know New Yorkers are a up lot, but this is ridiculous.
Come on, old man, don't do this.
Unfortunately, no one said this to the head of Illumination when they floated the idea of a sequel to the first movie. God damn, that's not even a Bruce Almighty moon, man. That moon is about to hit the Earth. Run! Also, I sure am glad these two were able to finally get along, since the movie's outcome was very much dependent. Yeah, I almost got through that with a straight face. So who couldn't help himself from tearing up Pop's apartment, but somehow learned in the meantime to keep Katie and Chuck's place clean enough to where they wouldn't notice a tiger had been hanging in there while they were gone?
Snowball?
Wow, they're really gonna try and merge all these plot lines together in the last 14 minutes of the movie. This feels more rushed than a Jake Paul vlog.
I know they gonna kill us. Who? This is bad.
Didn't Snowball and Daisy take these motherfuckers out just last night by themselves? Now they have 2 dogs and a tiger joining the fight, and he's freaking out this much? I'm not saying he wouldn't be scared. I'm just saying this bit is totally out of character and only exists as an excuse for Kevin Hart to do some more yelling. Also, to paraphrase Obi-Wan, they have the high ground. How the are they expecting the wolves to get up there? Oh yeah, Sergei's coming up too, so maybe bark and wake Katie and Chuck up. There are a million ways to mitigate this situation. Where the hell did Duke go during the whole rooftop sequence? Matter of fact, where the hell has he been this entire movie? The first one was all about his conflict with Max, but for this one, they literally sent him to a farm upstate.
Oh, pretty little dog, I like you. You will join my circus as a cannonball.
Does PETA not exist in this universe? Because I'm pretty sure Not Gru here would have already been tarred and feathered by them if they did.
Daisy! Who?
Daisy what now?
We read you loud and clear. Over.
Why is Gidget still here? I know she was crowned queen of the cats and but that was hours ago. Doesn't she have a very posh apartment and a doting owner to get back to?
Buckle up, everyone.
Now Duke shows up with all the cats? How did they accept his big ass? They were shown earlier in the movie to be assholes to dogs. Man, they guessed correctly, but this is a big gamble to follow the train. How do they know who was on there? He was put into a truck when they got him from the apartment building, so they really could have easily just kept him in there. These wolves are on the roof of the moving train. Villain doesn't duck and gets hit with something and knocked off the top of a train cliché. Jeez, and I thought it was boring when T'Challa and Killmonger spent the last part of their movie fruitlessly pounding on each other. Also, hasn't this entire movie led us to believe that Snowball isn't a good fighter, even though he thinks he is? But when it's needed, he all of a sudden is a good fighter? My brain hurts. Sure, let's keep it up. I feel like the movie's been doing this to me for the last 70 minutes or so. Hey, remember when Max was like obsessed with Liam and how he was super overprotective of him? But then he saved a sheep from a tree on the farm, and now he's facing down certain death from the Eastern European circus owner in order to save a tiger that he just met 15 minutes ago because Harrison Ford gave him courage. It really just makes all the sense in the world once you say it out loud.
You are going nowhere!
Bringing a gun to a tiger fight. Holy shit, she just killed the out of that guy. How does she even know he's bad? It's not like she can understand the pets. She literally just got her jollies off on murder.
Nothing stays the same for long.
Not even the lead voice talent in a major studio franchise.
You never know what life is going to throw at you.
Oh, I do. A steady rush of what I've learned today cliches, overwrote narration at the end of an animated kids movie. I totally knew life was throwing that at me. Weirdly, the end credits sequence of this movie just won the weekly $10,000 prize from America's Funniest Home Videos.
Look, Willie, Kitty's got claws.
Hey, you watch HBO, right? And everybody loves Bill Hader. So chances are that you've heard of their critically acclaimed show Barry, about a hitman that wants to leave the life of murderous mayhem and become an actor in LA. It's a badass show. Hilarious at times, dramatic at others, and unexpectedly deep. And we here at CinemaSins love that shit so much, we made an entire podcast about it. Join Chris, Barrett, and Mike for a deep dive into every single f***ing episode in the new podcast starting now. They're all the way through the end of season 2, so you can binge the podcast along with the show. The guys break down the hijinks of Barry, Fuchs, Sally, NoHo Hank, Cristobal, Jean, Janet, and much more in the Emmy Award-winning show, and have a ton of their own fun along the way. So, subscribe and listen wherever you do podcasts. Check out starting now.
And when Mr. Bigglesworth gets upset, people die!
Anybody comes in here looking for trouble? Oh, they gonna meet my partners.
Put 'em up, put 'em up!
Come play with us, Daddy.
We are so sorry, Mr.
Chicken?
Nobody calls me chicken.
She is the chosen one.
All hail the Queen!
Rooster, you know what? Just go on without me.
I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back.
My sister, my daughter.